On this episode of the One More Time podcast, we are joined by J1, who is the VP of Programming at SiriusXM/Pandora. If you've ever wondered how songs make it onto playlists or onto radio stations, J1 is one of the guys behind the curtain making it all happen. In our conversation, he breaks down the entire process step by step, and he even revealed a royalty that most musicians are not collecting. You're going to want to pay attention to this one. Let's jump right in.
Why would they call it LA Fitness if it didn't originate in LA?
But it did.
It did.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God, right?
Oh my God. I was about to just quit life.
It just means something totally different.
For sure, man. Well, welcome J1 to the podcast.
J1.
VP of Programming at SiriusXM and Pandora. So we were debating this and we didn't actually even fucking Google it, like worst researchers ever. But like they're obviously owned by the same
parent.
SiriusXM acquired Pandora in 2019, like right when I got hired at Pandora, they came in.
You got bought up?
We got bought up.
Oh, shit. That's always a fun time. M&A activity.
It was a little scary, but I actually was encouraged by it because I came from radio.
That's right, because you were an on-air like personality.
I was on there. I was a program director. I worked at Urban One Media, so I got recruited by Pandora to be their head of hip hop. And then right when I got in is when Sirius acquired the company. And I said, you know what, this could actually work out because I know radio and I'm learning the streaming side, so I can kind of do the best of both worlds.
But like people think of Pandora still. I mean, they were like the first internet radio. They were like a super early mover, right?
Yeah.
So did you not feel like you were doing radio when working for Pandora because it wasn't traditional radio, or like? It
was probably the easiest transition into a streaming platform as if I went to like another one because like you said, it's very similar to radio as far as the laid back experience, but it's still streaming at the end of the day. It's different types of streams. So you have the radio streaming where you can't control what's coming up, or you can't do like on-demand albums and stuff like that. But we do have an on-demand service where you can look at songs on demand and all that stuff.
No, I knew that. You pay for that though.
You do pay for that.
So that's the difference.
Okay.
That's the paid service.
Yeah.
All right, but it's still free $99 for the like radio with ads, etc. Right?
Yeah, we're not getting rid of that. That's our bread and butter.
Okay, so it was a logical transition then for you when like they bought you up.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have much of a choice. But
I mean, you could have said
Fuck
some
it.
shit.
I'm going to work at Walmart.
I'm going to Spotify. Fuck you, SiriusXM.
Call me Daniel Lick.
So just to like set the stage for the rest of the conversation, VP of Programming.
Yes.
A lot of people probably, including, I always love to throw our audience under the bus.
It's us.
It's always us.
What does it mean?
Yeah. Our audience probably doesn't know what it means.
Just tell it for them.
Yeah, for the audience out there. No, but like, what does your role entail, right? As VP of Programming.
Yeah.
And it seems like you support both.
I oversee music programming, primarily hip hop and black music on both Pandora and SiriusXM. Most of the contemporary stuff, I mean, hip hop all over on Pandora. But yeah, so I oversee like the programming as far as like the station and playlisting and the editorial support, putting together events with different artists, working with the labels as far as album releases, trying to get the story on new artists and stuff, figuring out which artists we're going to support, all that.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. So I feel like, our audience is a lot of aspiring, artists that are trying to like basically figure out how to navigate the music industry and kind of elevate their careers. So for those that think radio and or like Pandora is only for big artists, like, is that true?
No, not at all. I mean, here's the thing. Pandora is actually a good platform for music discovery.
What'd I say?
Yeah.
No,
I
thought that's the whole shtick. I thought that's the biggest strength of Pandora is discovering new shit because they'll put you, you start on something you like and then you kind of, you zone out. We have short attention spans these days.
Right.
15 minutes goes by and you're like, what is this song?
What is
this is
that?
fucking hard. I got to even see what I'm playing right now.
And it's my new single.
Yeah.
Me.
Well, you love being the rapper in these
I'm always like the example aspiring rapper.
There you go.
Yeah. So in this case, like that's my song that came up after Drake.
They have a great algorithm, it seems.
It does. I mean, it was the original algorithm.
Right.
It was the blueprint.
Right.
So we have a great platform for music discovery. We just haven't done the best job of communicating that.
In what way?
Well, you know how like people will go to other DSPs because they feel like, okay, I'll find a newer artist or I'll do some music discovery. Pandora is like, oh, that's an older streaming platform. Yeah, it's older, but because of the algorithm, to your point, it's still very good for music discovery because all you have to do is like, I like this artist, and then just go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah. So is your demographic like way different than the people that do use like the competitors like Spotify and Apple Music, for example, or are you guys competing for that same type of listener?
I mean, we're all competing for listeners and stuff. You know, we're competing against Netflix and all types of streaming platforms because you only have
competing for attention,
right? You only have so many hours and minutes in the day.
Facts.
So if
podcasts,
if I'm watching if I'm listening to a podcast, exactly,
get him out of here.
I didn't realize what I was doing by signing this guy up for an interview. We brought in the ops.
This is good. Keep your enemies close.
It's true.
Yeah, man. So I mean, we do skew a little bit older because we're an older platform and people grew up with us.
30s kind of people.
Yeah. I mean, that the millennial sweet spot, you know, early 30s, early 40s and stuff. But we do have a very strong younger demographic. They do tap in with us. A lot of like Uber drivers use us and business owners.
The businesses seemed like the cheat code.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if I go into a store,
right,
it's got to be Pandora, but like a lot of the times just in the background, right?
Yeah, most of the time it is. Exactly.
Damn. So is there like a team that's responsible for developing those relationships and making sure that like businesses use Pandora, or is it just...
It's kind of been organic.
It's just like,
know.
To be honest with
we're
you.
the one.
They fucking know.
Yeah.
You go to Pandora for that lit ass playlist at
Journeys.
Yeah. Fuck.
Target.
Yeah, sure.
I don't know, wherever.
Why not?
Yeah. So, you know, you're responsible for programming across, you know, primarily urban genre.
Yes.
But like, how involved then are you in like algorithmic types of decisions, right? Like, how does our algorithm work? How involved are you in like what the DJs are playing, right? Like, you know, like how hands-on do you get versus how much do you let others kind of like dictate, you know, what's happening on the air?
It's a great question. So we have two different types of listening experiences when it comes to algorithms, or algorithmic and non-algorithmic. So we have like stations and destinations that are completely controlled by the algorithm, and then we have destinations that are controlled by the curator. So both of them are great listening experiences. It just depends on like what you're going for and stuff. So, you know, of course, I'm very hands-on with the stations that are not algorithmic that we control or my team controls. But even the algorithmic stations, even though we don't directly control them, if there is like something that we want to try to like get on there or influence the algorithm, and we want to kind of push the algorithm to a certain song, we have the ability to do that.
Yeah. Interesting, man. So our community was on our live stream earlier. We were asking them for like questions that they want to ask you. And so I think one thing that got brought up is like, are there certain types of songs that, you know, make most sense for radio, for example? Like, you know, whether it's the way that they're mixed and mastered, like certain technical things, or whether it's certain arrangement things as far as how the songs are structured, right? Like, do you see like super commonalities between the majority of the songs that make it on like XM radio, for example?
XM's a little bit different because it's, you know, satellite radio, and they're kind of aggressive and they don't have a lot of the restrictions like terrestrial radio. But like from my radio days, the thing that really helps a song, and what I tell like a lot of artists to do is make sure that hook is right? Because
yes.
And this goes, and you can even say this about like TikTok and the algorithm today, right? You're only hearing a snippet of the song. You're hearing the hottest part, usually the hook or something like that. And when songs are being tested in radio, and this is like what I learned in my Urban One days, basically, you know, they're testing the hooks of the song. So like when people are listening and they're taking the surveys, they're listening to the hooks. And however they grade those songs is how well the song performs.
So how do the surveys and the tests actually happen? So like when I think of it being tested, is it actually on the air, or are you having people come in? Like, like how does a radio test work?
So now it's all on the phone. So like, we had subscribers and stuff like that. They'll send out a link and you take the test.
Really?
Yeah.
And you grade the song.
You grade the song, and you could sign up for it and stuff. I mean, we advertise that on SiriusXM all the time. On Hip Hop Nation, one of the channels that I oversee, we say, hey, if you want to become like a VIP member, follow us or click the link in our bio.
I've heard that.
Yep, you've heard that.
I listen to Hip Hop Nation all the time.
So we can test songs like that.
You can test songs like that.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have the power.
We have the power.
Yeah.
On what makes it on SiriusXM.
Yeah.
Hip Hop Nation.
Yeah.
That's fire. Okay. Well, so then I was going to ask about like how much is data driven decision making, right? So it's like, okay, yeah, we test a song with these users that are clicking the link in the bio, they're getting the song early, they're testing it, whatever. But then once it makes it on air, right, or on Pandora, streaming and internet radio, what sort of data are y'all collecting to then make decisions on how much we continue to play this song or push it in front of listeners? Like, what metrics are we using?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at skip rates. We're looking at completion rates. We're looking at how many people are thumbing up the song on Pandora. That's
a big thing on Pandora. Yeah, thumb up, thumb down.
Yeah. We're all about those thumbs.
Those thumbs, man. That's our thing, man. That's the thing.
Let's go.
Y'all could have a mascot that's just like a giant thumb.
Or it could be this.
Consider that. You can have that for free.
I appreciate that.
Sure.
Yeah. Yo, what if he actually runs away with that idea?
Like thummy the thumb.
A big thumb. With, like, should they have eyes and stuff? That'd be a little scary though. The thumb with some eyes.
Oh God, this got real creepy. But no, so okay, and then so how much of it is? I mean, it's got to be all data at this point, right?
It's not all data. I mean, we definitely look at the data to make decisions, but we also have to listen to our guts, because sometimes a song will come out and the data might not be great at first, but then we just give the song a chance. It has to marinate. People have to get familiar with it. A lot of times people say they want to hear new music, but they really don't. They want to hear the same stuff that they're used to and the stuff that they know and that they could sing along to. And it's funny because they always say, "Oh, you guys play the same songs over and over again." It's like, yeah, because
that's what you motherfuckers want.
Right, you guys like the same songs. But yeah, so we look at the data. But if we feel like, no, the data might not be there, but we still feel like we know this is a good song, let's just stick with it for a while and we'll give it a chance.
So why do you think people do go back to like, the same old music? Like, why are we afraid of new music?
Nostalgia. I mean, it's a new crack, bro. I'm telling you.
I mean, I think it's twofold. I think we're just naturally comfortable with what we're familiar with, right? Like, you go to a good restaurant, you like the food, you like the same dish. Chances are you go back and you order the same thing over and over again. I mean, there's some people that are like, oh, I'm gonna try something new. Then you try something new, it's like, nah, I should have got my same go-to.
It's like, should I have a guaranteed 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 experience, or should I risk having a 10 or a 2 out of 10 experience? It's the same reason that like every movie that comes out now is a remake of something that was successful. It's a sequel.
Yep.
It was based on a book that was popular. It kind of sucks. But we're like that as humans.
So it's kind of like us as the humans and like the consumers, we're creating like the lack of innovation that we then complain about.
Yeah. I mean, dude,
it's like we're like, there's no new shit. It's like, because to your point, like, you wouldn't buy the fucking ticket to the movie that was new. Like, you're listening to the same fucking Outcast as me.
No, when I'm cooking a meal over here in the kitchen, like I would put on a show that I've like already seen. Because
how many times you watch Breaking Bad? How many times?
More than one.
There you go.
Because like I know that I can, like, if I'm like, doing this over here, if I miss a part, I at least know what's going on. It's harder for us to give our full attention to something new these days.
We love being comfortable.
Yeah.
We do.
Comfort.
We don't like the uncomfortable.
Comfort's the worst.
You have to be intentional when you're looking for new music. So we have destinations where there is like an abundance of new music, but I always equate like playlisting to a restaurant, right? So if you went to McDonald's and they offered you pizza, you would look at them crazy because you go to McDonald's for something else. You go for fries, nuggets, or whatever, right?
Breakfast in my
Breakfast.
case.
There you go. Breakfast.
I had it today. Swear to God.
There you go. Same thing with playlisting or stations, right? If I want to hear Drake or Taylor Swift or whoever, I'm gonna go to like today's hits or today's R&B hits because I want to hear the biggest songs by the biggest artists. But if I hear something new, it might be a good song, but that's not what I came there for. I didn't go to that experience. I'll go to new hip hop or something that caters to that particular listening experience.
So even if the song is good, people get caught off guard by it if it's curated in a way that isn't.
I mean, well, that's the tricky part, right?
Yeah.
That's the balance that you got to have. It's like you want to introduce certain new music, but you have to do it in a way that it's not too intrusive, or it's like, okay, I think this one will work based off of how it sounds. And this is where like your gut and your just knowledge of music and knowing your audience, like, will kind of determine where you place these songs at. Or you test them out on smaller curated experiences, and if they do well, you move them up.
I hope you guys are enjoying the conversation. I want to take a quick moment to tell you about our pals at DistroKid. You can't get your music onto streaming platforms without a distributor, and DistroKid is an excellent choice to handle that for you. For the ridiculously low price of $23, you can upload unlimited music for an entire year. That is less than $2 a month. I tripped on $2 walking down the street earlier. They have countless features to help you out on your musical journey. One of my favorites is Split. Instead of my collaborators hitting me up all the time saying, "Where's my money?" I can input everyone's percentage when I upload the music, and DistroKid will handle it. I've personally used DistroKid for many years and can genuinely recommend them as a great tool to get your music out into the world. And if you sign up at omtdistro.com, you'll get 30% off an already insanely low price. This is absolute peanuts for unlimited uploads yearly. We wish you the best with your creating. Let's get back to it.
How much music do you listen to personally?
Talking about like a week or a day?
I don't know. I don't even know. Like, just I guess how much of your job is like listening to all the music? Because I mean, I see you doing the posts of like the new Music Friday shit, and you're kind of like spotlighting, some of your, I guess, some of the records you're excited about.
Yeah.
So I assume you've obviously listened to those, but then like, how much more are you? You know what I mean? Like, how much are you consuming? Yeah, on like a daily basis.
I mean, I have to listen to a lot of the stuff that comes in from obviously the labels and our distribution companies, but then I'm also paying attention to social media, what's going on in any local markets, whether I'm in Atlanta, LA, if I'm popping up to New York, whether the DJ's feeling. So I get different pieces of information to like determine what gets on the radar, because the reality is, and you guys have probably heard this, and the number always changes, so I'm just going to say 50,000 songs get uploaded a day.
I've heard 100.
Yeah, 100, right? It's always a different number.
Yeah.
But there's no way that myself or even my team could listen to all these songs every week. It's just humanly impossible. So we have to decipher which ones we're going to give our time to. This is why I also tell artists, don't make like a song where you're dragging out the intro, or it's a 30-second intro, or there's a bunch of talking, or there's a clip. No, go right into the song, because people have short attention spans.
Yeah.
And most curators, right, we're going to listen to the first 30 to 45 seconds of a song.
That's generous.
If you're lucky, right?
That's generous.
We do live streams. We listen to a minute 45, and even then, some people are like, "You didn't get to the good part."
Let him keep going. Let him keep going. You were cooking.
Right. I mean, you didn't get to the good part. We have short attention spans, and they're getting shorter as time goes on.
Every day.
They ain't getting any longer.
Right. It's not getting any longer.
Bro.
So that's why the songs are shorter, and I tell artists all the time, get right into the song. Yeah. Get into the meal.
So many artists are going to hate you when you say that, obviously, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm assuming you get some feedback that's like,
"This is my art. It takes 2 minutes to build up to the climax."
I mean, that's cool. Like, if that's what you want to do, I'm just going to let you know what's happening with your audience and stuff, and with what people are listening for. Now, you might have people that will hang in there or wait for the minute 45, but most people, especially when it comes to new music, and they don't know who you are, they're not sticking around. I always think like a listener or a consumer, and most people are passive listeners. They're on their way to work. They're
doing something else.
They're doing something else. They got their kids in the car. So they're not sitting there by the radio like our grandparents did, listening,
playing a record, smoking a doobie, just paying attention.
Right. Like we're doing other stuff. We're multitasking. People are on their phones. So you have to make your song or your music stand out, because if it doesn't, I'm either going to skip it or I'm changing the channel.
And this is the biggest challenge in the world that we talk to artists about, is that like you want to make art for a living, but are you willing to change your art to make a living?
Yeah.
Because like,
have you said that before?
Not like that.
That was a bar.
It's kind of a bar, right? Like
that's a caption right
that
there.
was.
You can be the dopest hobbyist in the world, but the second that you don't want to have a job and you want to collect and you want to do this for shit for real and make a living and go on tour and do all these other things, are you willing to compromise and change your art to do that? It's a big internal decision that I think
for sure
people aren't ready for, man.
Yeah. So if I'm a up and coming artist, how do I even find my way onto the platform or the radio in the first place?
No, it's a great question. So I tell all artists who ask that question, it's usually when I'm at a conference or in a room full of artists, I say, look around. There's 100 people in here. All of you guys are artists, right? Multiply that by 5,000. Ain't no way I can listen to all of your songs. Yeah. So you have to do everything in your power to make your song stand out and rise above the crop, right? The thing that I look at, and I guarantee most other curators look at, regardless of the streaming platform that they work for, is the on-demand streams. If you're able to get some sort of traction on my platform without any editorial support, it's definitely going to raise its hand. It's definitely going to set off a flag, and I'm going to look at it.
Meaning you have real fans that sought your music out and clicked, I want to listen to XYZ artist.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's an indicator no matter where you go. And like you said, the fans are showing that there's a demand for it. So if I put it on a playlist and giving it more exposure, I already know that there's a fan base for it and it's testing well.
It already converted.
It already converted, right. So I tell artists all the time, there's so many tools and resources out there to build up your audience, to build the algorithm, whether you're using the streaming tool, the streaming platforms tools. Ours are called AMP, which stands for Artist Marketing Platform. It's completely free. You can look at your analytics, obviously, but you can also feature a track. So if you have one track that you want to say, oh, this is the one I'm going to push, then you can basically feature that track for free and it pushes it out to more people without any editorial support. And that's something that artists can do on their own. They don't need my permission or anything like that. And it just helps build your audience organically because it's pushing it out to listeners that like your similar style of music. The other thing, obviously, going on Facebook, doing lookalike campaigns, people say ads on TikTok, you can go that route, but doing some sort of influencer campaigns, the blogs, simple stuff, having an email list, having a website, building up your audience that way. I mean, 100 people who are willing to pay to see your show is better than 100,000 Instagram followers that might not spend $5 with you.
Yeah. So
that was a bar, first of all.
So what percentage of the smaller artists that you see, those red, I guess not even red flags, probably green flag, I don't know, whatever. The good kind of flags.
The good kind of flags.
Yeah, exactly. What percentage of them have like sounds or, content trending on TikTok, would you say?
I would say a good amount of them.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah, it's a direct correlation. I mean, the artists that trend on TikTok, you usually see their on-demand streams are high, and then after that, it's like, okay, we got to do something with it, regardless of how, I might personally feel about the song or not. If my audience likes it, I'm gonna go with what my audience wants to do.
How hard is that?
It's not really hard. I've learned over the years it's not about me. Ooh. So I've taken any type of ego out of it, because once you get into like that stigma of, oh, this song sucks or this new generation can't make music, then you're not going to be open to hearing new sounds or hearing what like this next generation wants to hear. So I always stay open to all types of music. And even if I don't get it on the first time, like I'll listen to it over again, or I might need to experience it somewhere at a club or a festival and say, oh, now I get it, you know?
So you love Playboy Cardi?
I do like Cardi. Yeah. I do. I actually met Cardi when I was a program director in DC.
Ooh.
Yeah. He was doing the show out there.
Nice.
And, this was like 2017. So it was
early.
It was at the Fillmore, which holds about 2,000 people. Now he's doing 10 times that, like 20,000.
Sure. So who's an artist that you just didn't get at first recently that you've kind of come around to?
When I first heard Ice Spice, at first I was just like, okay, let me listen to this again. But then when my 20-something-year-old niece, who is probably one of the smartest people I know, like intellectually, graduated from Yale.
Oh, wow. Okay,
it's just like,
so really smart intellectually.
Right, really smart.
No, I thought you were just being nice to your niece.
No.
Oh, my niece is so smart.
No.
She graduated from community college.
She graduated from Yale at 4 years. So right.
I hate people like her. Anyway, shout out to your niece.
But when she said, she was like, "Oh, I love Ice Spice. That is my favorite artist out right now." I said, okay, this is undeniable. So it's just like, I said, we're going to roll with it, but I get it.
What made you get it eventually? Did you see it live or did you listen to it in a certain space? Or
it was just the movement, right?
Yeah, she's got that.
She's got a movement. She has a cult-like following, and it doesn't really matter the background or your education level. She's tapped into something that was undeniable. So for me to say, I don't get it, like, no, you just have to learn how to get it or tap in with people that really love it and ask them questions. So I asked my niece, like, hey, what do you like about her? What is it? And she was just like, I just love her style. I love her bars. I love everything. So, and anybody that says that they get all the songs or they get all the artists, they're probably lying. Like, none of us get everything off the rip.
Yeah.
Like, nobody bats 1,000.
Absolutely.
You're going to strike out sometimes.
Yeah.
You're going to ground out.
Yeah. So you know what I just heard though, bro? If you want to get the ear of J1, just send music to his niece.
Send music to my niece.
Did you pick that up?
No, that's kind of devious.
I wanted to make sure they picked it up.
All right. Well, I don't know if I agree with that, but
I probably just crossed a line of sorts, but like, I'm just recapping what I just heard. I don't know. I didn't say it. Okay, cool. So, you've been in radio for a bit. What's something that you think that you took from your early days in radio and are now applying in this current role?
The thing that I learned when I first got over to Pandora is people still like good music. A hit is a hit, and they still want to hear the hits. It's just Pandora gives you more room to like play hits, right? Whereas when I was in radio, especially early on, they say, oh, just play these records right here. And it's like, but it's only like 15 songs. You're telling me there's only 15 hits out there? Like, come on. Like, I used to DJ. There's 15 songs. I'd be done in less than 10 minutes, right? So the thing that I learned is people still want to hear good music. They still want to hear the classics. It's just, you have to just curate it in a way that it makes sense and you're giving them the best listening experience.
So then how do you think Pandora differs from like Spotify and Apple? I feel like we were kind of touching on this with like it being one of the older platforms, right? In comparison. But, you mentioned that you thought it did have a lot of discovery tools. I do know a lot of people that go to Spotify playlists for discovery. So like, what would you say is the biggest differentiator between like the other two major DSPs being, Spotify and Apple?
I think Pandora is more of a laid back experience, right? We talked about the Uber drivers or the business owners, the hair salon owner, the gym owner. You don't have time to necessarily create a playlist or find that playlist that's going to appeal to your customers. So you want to find something that you like, whether it's a song, an artist, or a particular station that you like, and you want to press play and you want to go about your business.
Set it and forget it.
That's what Pandora does best.
Oh, man.
We're the ultimate laid back experience.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could totally see that. Whereas the other ones are more like aggressive and active listeners versus maybe like
Autopilot.
a little more, passive in that sense.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's fine. Like people have different preferences.
Oh,
There's
for
people
sure.
that do like that. I want this. I want this. I want it to sound like this. And then there's people that like, I have a kid. I can't be screwing around. Like, let me press the button.
Yeah, and I think the passive type of people that want to put it on autopilot is the growing one out of the two groups. You know what I mean? I think there's more and more of them every day.
It's just so hard to find stuff. That I think
time for that.
People get overwhelmed. I think they give up easily.
It's a lot of music.
Yeah.
It's too much. It's like artists are popping up left and right. I mean, it's beautiful because technology has made getting music out more accessible to everybody. But like the other side is there's more music out there. There's more artists. It's actually harder to break an artist now than it was maybe 10 or 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. And again, I'm not saying it's good or bad or anything like that. It's just different.
So why do you say that it's harder to break an artist now?
Because one, the barriers of entry are lower, right? So you have more competition. Like you said, there's so much music and content being thrown at us. People don't necessarily know what to stick with, or they'll go on one thing and then just get distracted by another, or something's hot right now, and if it disappears for like a couple of months, we're on to the next thing. I mean, look at the news cycle. It turns over so quickly, right? We were talking about hip hop beefs, only days ago, but now it's like, it's kind of crickets.
It is kind of gone already.
Right.
Well, until Kendrick's album drops in May, supposedly. We'll see.
Yeah, but yeah. Damn.
I'm curious how you feel about, we talked about Will Hill. Shout out this nice candle we have on the set from Will Hill. Yeah. He straight up said, like, we need to bring back gatekeepers. He doesn't like all the shitty music. He thinks there should be less people making music. Do you prefer it one way or the other? Obviously, this is how it is now, but
who are the gatekeepers, though?
Well, back in the day, it was, MTV and labels.
But you're saying, like, who would we vote?
Yeah.
Who would it be now?
Who are the gatekeepers?
Right.
And how they get the job.
It's not even possible anymore.
And even then, people would complain about the gatekeepers back then. Oh, it's all political. The gatekeepers.
Right.
Take away the gatekeepers. Okay, they took away the gatekeepers. Oh, no, there's no gatekeepers. There's too much shit now. It's like,
you can't fucking win in this shit, man.
What do we want? Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I do think there are certain gatekeepers, whether it just looks a little bit different, like the bloggers.
Do you feel like a gatekeeper?
I mean, I feel like I tell people I'm a piece of the puzzle or a piece of the pie that you need to get your stuff circulated and popping, but I can't do it by myself. Like,
bro, I'd be on a power trip if I had J1's job. I'd feel like the goddamn king of music. Like whether it's him or Tuma or Carl Cherry or like whatever.
You want to be on the radio?
Bro, I'd get such a power trip, bro.
What did Uncle Ben say? With great power comes great responsibility.
Oh, I thought you were talking about I'm Uncle Ben to my niece and nephew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was like, what did I say?
Spider-Man, Ben.
I know, but
okay.
No, yeah.
But,
it's Spider-Man, Uncle Ben.
I just
married to Aunt May.
Yeah, okay, well. Yeah, I don't know, man. Do you get a lot of people frustrated if you're not supporting them in the way that they think that you should be?
I'm sure there are. Like, I can't answer every DM that I get, or I can't play every song. What I do is I always treat people with respect. When people do talk to me about music, and I do listen, I try to give my honest opinion. And I at least try to tell them, okay, here's what you can do, right? People always ask about playlists. And I'm very honest. I'm like, it's very competitive. I can't playlist every song, but here are the steps that you can do to possibly get your song playlisted.
And what are those steps?
So it's what we talked about earlier, right? Engaging with the artist tools, building up your audience, engaging with the algorithm, marketing yourself, doing collaborations, and then also kind of realizing where you're at, right? So if you're an artist, and it is actually funny, like my little cousin, he's an artist, and he's thinking, oh man, I got the plug. My cousin, I'm like, nah, dude, you got to work like everybody else. But the thing that really made him stand out is he was doing his own beats. So I told him, I said, look, you can get into more doors as a producer than you can as an artist, because as a producer, everybody needs tracks. And if you connect with the right people, right, and go out to these places and network, you can get into a lot of studio sessions, and then you blow up as a producer, then who knows, right? Or as a songwriter. We're seeing a lot of songwriters, especially on the R&B side, come along, and then they made those connections. They penned some big songs, and now they're winning Grammys. Engineers. If you're a dope engineer, you know how to like really do a session and run a session. You can be in all types of studio sessions. So you don't have to necessarily say, oh, okay, I'm going to be an artist and have tunnel vision. No, be willing to pivot. Be willing to do different pockets. I know people that started as artists and now they're managers of huge artists, right? But they know how to handle their artists because they were one. That's the other thing people have to think about. Not everybody's going to break. Yeah. 50,000 people ain't going to break. It's just not going to happen. And I hate to, I'm not trying to crush people's dreams, but
voice of reason.
But at the end of the day, not everybody's going to make it. So be willing to pivot. People need financial planners.
Yeah. Shit.
So what's one thing that you've done at, SiriusXM / Pandora that you're most proud of, would you say, like in your tenure there?
I would say establishing the Playback series.
Yeah, for those that aren't familiar, what is it? Because I thought that was going to be your answer, and I'm so glad it is.
By the way, at Playback Ben.
At Playback Ben is my...
Playback Ben, yeah, there we go.
Maybe if Playback's looking to hire, I could quit my shitty corporate job.
Or just change your name to One More Time Ben.
Well, okay, yeah.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Anyways, so what is Playback?
So basically, what it is when an artist comes into our facility in front of an intimate audience, no more than 100 people, they sit down, they talk about their journey, but also their project, right? So it could be a new project that's about to come out or that just dropped, or it could be an anniversary project and they're going through that. And as they're talking about it, we'll play the music. So they're not necessarily performing. Some people do get up and perform if they feel like it, but it's a conversation with the music. And we started it when I first started at Pandora. The first one was with Common and DJ Drama. It was an incredible conversation.
We've heard of them.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. And that's the one that really set it off. And we've done so many artists. I mean, everybody from Dionne Warwick to Lil Durk. It's just been an incredible experience and a lot of great conversations. Our most recent one, we did one with T-Pain and Young Cash for their new project.
Fire.
So yeah,
very recently.
So and do you host those conversations?
I did at one point, but I'm the mindset of always trying to like groom the next person or give other people opportunities, because I want to more so be behind the scenes and be in the executive role. So I was hosting them last year, but now shout to DC
Young Fly.
Fly Guy DC.
Sorry,
Yes, Fly Guy.
Everyone, don't make that mistake, bro. That was such a rookie mistake.
Let's edit this out. We'll edit this out.
All right, say it again. Just repeat
Fly
it.
Guy DC.
Yeah, man. Shout to Fly Guy DC.
Yeah.
So we recently put him on as the host for the playbacks that happen in Atlanta.
Oh man, I was gonna put my hat in the ring and fucking Fly Guy DC. Like
he beat you to
You're
it,
not
man.
competing.
You would have been next.
I'm just saying, like, no, I do want to get into like stuff like that. Obviously, we do the podcast, and so I'm very comfortable, of course, like, hosting conversations. So I do have that as a goal of mine, like personally. But fucking Fly Guy DC, god damn it, he's probably got this.
He got your beat, brother.
But no, so is it true that like the payments for artists are like much better? Like if I'm an artist, are the royalties better for like Pandora and or SiriusXM, or like, do you know much about?
I know in my experience, it's different when on Pandora, for example, someone could listen to your song, but they don't type you in. So it's a totally different. You have to sign up. Artists and producers. Hopefully, you guys know this. It's a different payment method when it's like, is it interactive or non-interactive?
Yeah, you've been doing your work.
Okay, yeah.
I'm a producer engineer, so I got to kind of know this.
That's exactly what it is.
I've heard of these things. But like explain maybe like just high level.
I mean, you said it best. So you have interactive streams and non-interactive streams. So an interactive stream is if I go to a specific song, if I type it in, or if it's on a playlist that I can directly go to that song, that is an interactive stream. Those usually pay out more depending on the pay scale. Non-interactive streams are what you hear like on Drake radio or Lil Baby radio on Pandora, where it's more like a radio experience. You can't determine the song that's coming up next. So it's a non-interactive stream. It pays out less, but you actually can get more on your stream as far as money, because those type of streams are paid out through Sound Exchange.
Sound Exchange.
Yes. So Sound Exchange was set up by the U.S. government, and it guarantees the performer of that record a percentage of that record, regardless of your deal or not. Now, if you sell your Sound Exchange rights, then forget about it. Like, and people have done that. You can pretty much sell anything, but think about it. If you're like,
I sold my soul, so like,
we ain't gonna get in that. But
that's just where my brain went.
But we've seen like artists who have had messed up deals still get their Sound Exchange checks based off of their catalog and just their non-interactive streams.
Oh,
so if you guys are out there and you have your BMI ASCAP, you have your distribution, but you don't have Sound Exchange, you need to sign up for Sound Exchange, get that non-interactive bag, my guys.
Absolutely. And Pandora and SiriusXM are the biggest payees to Sound Exchange.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, J1, we've entered a final segment of the podcast. Take us home, H3.
Man,
good stuff.
Such good stuff.
I knew this was going to be a good one, but
I told you. Anyway, this is the Rapid Fire Rampage. This is the final segment. It's going to be a 3-part rampage.
Okay.
I'll explain them as we go. It's just going to start off with some short answer questions. Rampage! Let's get into it.
Love the sound effects.
It's good, right?
Yeah,
Have you seen Archer?
It's terrible.
I've not seen Archer. Okay.
H. John Benjamin, my favorite voice actor of all time. We'd love to interview you for, I don't know why you wouldn't fit on here, but whatever. Anyway, question number 1. Sup.
Sup.
God damn it. We're off to a hot start.
Hot start. Moving right along. J1, give us your top 3 tips for artists who want to get their music played on Pandora, satellite radio, or just want to get noticed by curators like yourself. What can they be doing?
Have a plan. Have a team.
Ooh. Teamwork.
And do as much as you can on your own, and don't rely on anybody else or try to come to us. If you do the right things, we'll find you.
That's the one.
It's always that. That goes for so many examples.
I know. That's how the industry is now. It's like, what can I do to get the attention of this? And It's like, if you focus on your own shit,
be dope,
they will find you. If you have to just pretend like that shit doesn't exist. The labels will find you. The radio will find you. It all happens. Like, build your little thing. If you build it, they will come.
It's true, man.
Sure. J1, you must choose one song to be played every time you walk into a room.
This is great.
What's your walk-in
This
song?
is the ultimate curator experience.
Exactly.
Like, this guy's gonna program his life right now. Let's go, bro. What you got?
Freestyle by Lil Baby.
Ooh, God.
I love that song.
Arguably Baby's best. Seriously, no. Most people would say that's his best song. It's a good one. Moving right along, J1, what is one music industry lesson, maybe from Brian Calhoun, that just changed your life forever? What is something that clicked and shit started to move?
That was heavy, bro.
Yeah, I
like to start light.
I was like, oh shit. What's something that clicked and shit started to move? I was like, okay, Henry, you got it.
Everyone wants to know that.
I won't say like things started to move or anything.
Okay.
I will say don't sleep on anybody or write off anybody. Doesn't mean you have to, again, support their music or playlist them, but you just never know. The person that you shit on or you disrespect or just kind of like curve, they can be that next superstar. So that's why I say I treat everybody with respect and at least shake their hand and say what's up to them and like give them some sort of tip or something like that. So they don't be like, oh, J1 was an asshole. No, I talked to you. I was just very honest with you. Like, hey, I can't play your music right now, but if you do X, Y, and Z, then maybe you have a shot. Or circle back when you have this.
Keep your doors open.
Keep your doors open because, again, people people may not remember what you say, but they'll remember how you made them feel.
God,
that is one right there.
Spitting, bro.
That is one.
God damn. But I just feel that.
Rewind this episode to what he just said.
I just feel that, bro.
And absorb that, because that is huge.
I feel that, man, because I also think that, even people coming in, there's just a lot of people that actually react kind of aggressively to, when they hear no, or when they hear now is not the right time, or
right.
I can't do that right now, but do XYZ maybe. There's a lot of people that respond very weird to that.
Some people take it and get offended.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you say, because all they want to hear is a yes.
Yeah.
But I've found that some people just appreciate that I take the time to talk to them, or just give them some sort of advice or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm honest with them.
For sure.
And I'm not disrespectful. I'm not telling, oh, your music stinks. This will never get played. Mm-hmm. You never know. It might go viral tomorrow, and then I'm looking stupid.
You're the asshole.
Right, exactly. So that's the type of education I try to give people, because when they ask, yo, put me on your playlist, and I say, well, if I put you on this playlist and it doesn't do well, it could hurt you more than it can actually help you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because then they remember that you're the one that fell out. Well, I think you're giving them that education right now.
Yeah,
right.
This one's called Ideal Audio. Ooh. J1.
Okay.
You can put any artists, producers, writers, engineers, anyone that you want together to make an album, to create your perfect personalized album.
Wow.
Who are you putting together?
How many do I get?
Whoever you want. Unlimited budget, alive or dead. Let's just make the J1 album.
Ooh, alive or dead?
Or dead.
For a songwriter?
Let's go.
Give me Smokey Robinson.
Oh, okay.
Producer, I'm gonna give my Harlem bias, because I was born and raised in Harlem.
Okay.
I'm going with Teddy Riley.
Ooh. Okay. Who are the artists, bro? Who are the artists?
Who's the artist?
Yeah.
You can pick one or two, three. Maybe.
Okay.
Damn,
maybe
bro.
two. Let's cap it at two.
You gotta cap this shit.
No cap. I mean cap.
If I'm going with Smokey and I'm going with Teddy, then wouldn't it be crazy to have a Prince and NJ?
Oh shit!
Quincy's on the sidelines, what the fuck?
Right. Throw Quincy out there as an associate.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We'll add him on.
Yeah.
I think he just made the greatest album of all time.
Yeah. He did.
It's unbelievable.
Oh my God, I love it.
He's a curator for a reason.
Curator.
For sure.
All right.
Also, I don't have this on my list either. I'm just thinking of stuff that I just want to ask you.
Yeah,
I'm fascinated.
go ahead,
This has never happened, by the way.
Have you met Rude Jude, my favorite radio DJ of all time?
Yeah, I have.
Is he just amazing? That's all I wanted to ask.
Jude is an interesting guy, man, but he's brilliant.
Jude.
Who's Rude Jude?
Bro, you are tripping. If you don't.
I'm tripping, man.
Shade 45, the greatest radio DJ of all time.
I don't know Rude Jude. I'm sorry.
You are completely sleeping.
I'm sorry.
If we could interview anyone, I would interview Rude
It'll
Jude.
be Rude Jude.
That is hilarious.
Jude, Anthony, Angelini, hit us up.
Okay.
Moving on.
Wow.
By popular demand, we're bringing back an old favorite. J1, you must eliminate 3 states. Which states do you eliminate?
Oh my God.
They're off the map. The people don't die, though. I want to just...
They relocate.
They relocate to another state.
You don't have to pick the lowest population.
Yeah, but they're gone.
But what's 3 states? We don't need them. You know?
Rhode Island?
Yeah, fine.
See, he went with the small one already.
Yep.
Yeah,
okay.
fine.
Basic take, but go ahead. Sure. Once again, the people don't die.
Yeah.
They don't die. Okay.
No, so you didn't have to
Pick shitty states.
What goes on in Maine?
Lobsters.
Lobster. Oh, we need the lobster.
We do.
Facts.
Delaware?
Okay, Delaware. Yeah. Another small.
Historical.
He's going.
Fuck it. Fuck history.
Historical.
Fuck history.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. What's the 3rd state?
I don't know.
Someone's got to go.
You're really hurting the Northeast right now.
I know. Jeez,
We
man.
don't need them.
New Mexico.
Ooh.
Okay, he took it out west.
That's fair.
I just don't know anything in New Mexico.
Yeah, I don't either. Right?
Yeah.
Albuquerque.
Yeah, Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
But
Well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I can't.
I think it's just meth.
Like Montana or Wisconsin, because I watched Yellowstone.
I'm in the middle of Yellowstone right now. It's fire.
After that, I was like, oh, I need to go up.
Does
there.
it keep getting better even?
It does.
It's just so good already.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to get home after this interview.
Yeah, man.
Can we wrap this up?
It's like a Western Godfather.
Oh my God, it's so
exactly.
good. Yeah,
That's a good way of putting it. Well, last one of the short answer is a new segment called How Many Times Have You Said It Today? Your word is bro.
I've said it probably about 8 times today.
8 is respectable.
That's a light 8.
That's mid to low tier.
That's a long day. He's had a long day.
That's not
you
bad.
Heard him.
Yeah, no, I haven't heard a lot of bros.
Does that include text messages too?
Yep. Yeah.
We never talked about that.
It does. I just
Bump it up to 10 then.
Okay, it's 10 bros. 10 bros. 10 bros.
10 bros. Moving on to part 2. This is the this or that. I'm going to give you 2 choices. You pick one. Here we go. Starting with
double-digit bros.
satellite radio or terrestrial?
Satellite.
Fuck you, terrestrial.
Fuck you, terrestrial radio.
Who needs you? Why are you still here?
Go away already.
Start off with a layup.
That was good.
Thank you. Just to boost J1's.
Yeah, pop his shit, bro. Come on now.
Yeah, I got you. Ban TikTok or keep TikTok?
Ooh, that's a good one. I say keep it.
Yeah. Keep TikTok. Drake or Kendrick?
Oh, no, I'm not picking this
Fine.
We play both of them on our station.
We do.
Okay, fair enough. Movies or podcasts?
Still movies.
Incorrect. That was the only one that
Does
had a
Pandora
wrong
have podcasts, right?
We do.
Yeah, okay. We actually got like some
listens.
listeners on there, bro. I don't know what's going on there.
Well, let's talk to him after
I know, we
this
need to
and
figure
get the
out.
boost.
Okay.
You know?
I signed up for AMP. I think it has podcast
Yeah,
stuff, and like
yeah.
I was in there once, like a long. Yeah, not. I should be in there more.
Get back in there. Hunting or gathering?
Jesus Christ, bro.
I don't think I've hunted before, so I'm going to take gathering.
He's gathering, bro.
Yeah.
He seems like a gatherer.
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
Maybe the gunshot isn't good for the gathering.
That's off brand.
Yeah. Plan it out or wing it?
Plan it out.
Meditate or skydive?
Meditate.
Save 1,000 strangers' lives or one loved one?
One loved one.
Delicious food with no calories or delicious alcohol with no hangover?
Delicious food with no calories.
And finally, become a full-time rapper or leave the music industry.
Is it a successful rapper?
That's up to you. God, we're so annoying, bro.
What's the deal structure like? There's a lot of questions.
No further
You're
information.
you're starting fresh. I'll say that.
Starting fresh?
You already have a hard rap name, J1.
Yeah. Well, okay. And you remember all those like pointers you gave the aspiring artists to
Yeah.
build their fan bases and
Yeah.
get all, you have to do those things.
You have contacts at Satellite Radio and Pandora.
Oh, I'm getting out the music business.
Yeah. Okay.
Or I'm going to be somebody's manager or something.
No, that wasn't an option.
No.
It was rapper or
Leave the music.
Yeah.
No, I'm
He's
out.
out, bro.
I'm
Go work
out.
at a bank or something. Yeah.
J1,
Yeah.
the banker.
The last section is the word association, J1. I'm going to say one word. You just give me the first word that you think of off the top of your head, as little thinking as possible. Here we go.
Let's go.
Starting with hip hop,
Culture.
podcast,
Awesome.
fish,
Smelly.
anxiety,
Common.
cousin,
Family.
rotten,
Tomatoes.
AI,
Interesting.
Korea,
South.
Twitter,
X.
the letter R,
Rhyme.
zombie,
Walking Dead.
OnlyFans,
Don't pay for it.
Lil,
Dirk.
poster,
Child.
J1.
Let's go.
Poster child, J1.
This has been
Let's
J1, VP of Programming at SiriusXM/Pandora, your favorite curator. Appreciate you coming on the podcast, man.
Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
Absolutely. As always,
Had a good
please like,
Me
comment,
too.
and subscribe. Follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Pandora.
Come on.
Yes.
Go listen to our podcast on Pandora.
Yeah. Do they have a review system there? Can they give us 5 stars?
Thumbs up.
Yeah,
Give us a
thumbs up.
thumbs
Yeah, give it a thumbs up, man. You got those thumbs.
Give us 2 thumbs up if you can.
Send me,
There you go.
send me the thumb. Mascot coming soon.
Oh, my God.
Until next week, Henry, what are we doing?
Getting out of here.
We're getting the fuck out of here. Peace, y'all.
Pop that shit like one more time. They pop that one more time. Pop that shit like one more time. They pop that one more time.